Hey everyone, in this video we are going to be talking about new baby stuff. Now this is actually from my short course for parents called Brand New Baby, and it is a video course that walks you through exactly week by week what to expect and answers all the questions that new parents come up with. I see so many brand new babies every year, and it's amazing that I get the specific same questions over and over again depending on what week I see the baby, what week they come into the office for a checkup or a sick visit or whatever. And so I've put this course together to answer all those questions. Hopefully it helps you, and hopefully this video gives you a little bit of peace and a little bit of clarity in the midst of all the confusion and tiredness that goes along with having a new baby. If you know somebody that would benefit from this, would you hit the share button and share it with them so that they can get the information as well? I hope you enjoy this video. Keep up the good work. Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of Brand New Baby. This is week 3, and what we're going to talk about today is how to get longer stretches of sleep, everything you need to know about tummy time, and spitting up. And the reason that I picked these are common things that parents have questions about around week 3. I usually try and talk to parents about them at the 2-week checkup so that they know what to look forward to, what to not worry about, what to worry about. So in this video, we're going to talk through those things because there's so much fear of missing out. There's so much analysis paralysis in comparison to other babies. And people are saying, well, how come they're not doing so much tummy time? And aren't you worried about their blah, 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 blah? That it can often feel like you're not doing enough. And at the same time, all you can do is like take care of this baby. And there's so much going on and you're so tired and everything like that. If you're feeling that way, just type a comment of yes below, because I think it helps other parents to see that that is normal and that is expected. And most people don't have everything figured out, and that's okay. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about is how to get longer stretches of sleep. And the first thing I want you to know is once baby hits that birth weight, then there's no need to keep waking baby up through the night. Now, a lot of parents worry that they're not getting enough milk, and that baby isn't growing well enough. That's why we do a 2-week checkup, is so that we can look and say, hey, baby's growing nicely, bravo, keep going. And the hidden message that sometimes doesn't get communicated well is you can let baby set the nighttime sleep schedule after we've proven that we are back at birth weight around 2 weeks. Now talk with your doctor and make sure if there's anything going on where baby's not growing well enough, or maybe they have some other things that are specific to them. But in general, once babies hit birth weight, they don't need to be woken up overnight to feed. And so I would typically avoid doing that and just let baby be the alarm clock and let baby set the schedule. Put baby down in a flat sleeping service alone in a safe sleep situation, and then let baby wake up and tell you, hey, it's time to feed me. Now, a lot of breastfeeding mothers want to know, do I need to wake up and pump? What do I need to do for that? If your milk supply is good, if latch is going well, I would not wake up and pump unless you need to for relief. Now, sometimes there's pain, or sometimes we're concerned about mastitis or something like that. In those cases, if you do need to wake up, I would just wake the baby up and feed the baby rather than pump, because you know what will happen is that you wake up and you're like, wow, baby's sleeping so well, I'll just go pump. You spend all that time pumping and then putting everything away and washing supplies and everything like that to get ready for the day. And then as you lay back down to sleep, there's baby. And now you have to feed baby pumped milk because you just pumped and you don't have any milk to offer. And then you're up for like twice as much time as you need, or even more so. And so what I would do is, if you can make it through the night without pumping and you have a good supply and latch and everything like that is going well, then I would just sleep until baby wakes up. If you need to wake up and say, okay, things are painful, I need to pump, or I'm worried about mastitis and I was told that I need to wake up and empty, then just wake baby up, feed baby, back to sleep, not a big deal. Other things that you can know about babies at this age is sometimes that as you start the routine, and we talked about that in the last video, is kind of establishing a routine, that will help babies to know, okay, this is bedtime versus this is just a quick feeding at nap time or something like that. What you can also do is establish that good evening routine and then do dream feeding. Dream feeding is where you kind of top baby off in hopes that, okay, they're going to go down for a nice stretch of sleep. We're going to jump in bed and go to sleep so that we can all get a little bit extra rest. 2 ways that you can do it. One is you can wake baby up at like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, or whatever time you typically go to bed, and just do a quick feeding then. The other would be to kind of plan in advance. Okay, we're going to have baby go to bed around 9 p.m. And so from 7:30 on, we're just going to kind of try and feed, wake baby up, play on the ground a little bit, feed, wake baby up, play on the ground a little bit, and do that so that we can really just top baby off with feeding so that hopefully that stretch of sleep, that initial stretch, is longer. If you're pumping and you've got extra and you want to top baby off and practice with a bottle, this is a great age to do that too. It's a great age to have your partner give a feeding by bottle, and that also helps to top baby off too, so that hopefully they'll go a longer stretch of sleep. Those things are totally fine to do, and this is a great age to start doing that. You don't necessarily have to introduce a bottle at this age if you're breastfeeding and baby's sleeping fine and everything like that, and you don't want to. There's no reason that you have to do it, but I do find that some moms are thinking about back to work and starting to pump or starting to get those things ready and have a little bit extra milk and want to see if they can get a little extra sleep, all noble purposes. And so that is totally fine by me. If you top baby off with that little extra pumped milk, practice with a bottle so that when they end up going to daycare or wherever they're going to go when you go back to work, they already know how to do a bottle. Otherwise, if you want, you can wait a few more weeks before you introduce a bottle, if that is your plan to keep pumping when you go back to work and everything like that. So that is some strategies on how to get longer stretches of sleep. Don't wake baby up once they get to the birth weight. Have a good evening routine, and then dream feeding, topping baby off. Those things work well. Comment yes if those things make sense and if that seems like something that you would want to try in order to get a little bit more sleep at night. Now, the second thing that I get asked about all the time is tummy time. And I don't know, there must be some sort of like tummy time war or shaming going on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere, because parents feel like they suck at tummy time. And maybe just comment below, give a like or a yes or an emoji if you feel like you get shamed into tummy time. And I think a lot of parents feel like they're not doing it enough or they're not doing it right and something bad is going to happen. Let me just take away all of that and tell you that tummy time is not that big of a deal, and it is not something where I like hound you at the visits or how much tummy time are they getting and what does their tummy time look like. It's just not that big of a deal. Tummy time is good in that it gives baby a chance to use their head and neck to gain head and neck control. That is basically all tummy time is for. It also gives the baby a break from constantly being on their back so that their head doesn't get too flat. But you have to remember that a lot of the day you're holding baby, and you're not holding baby flat with their head flat on your arm. The way that you're holding baby or cradling them or rocking them or wearing them doesn't put that much pressure on their head. So that's time where they're not having their pressure on their head. And then the thing about tummy time is it's just time where their head isn't quite as supported. So you're holding baby up, you're cradling baby, and they're doing some of the head and neck control themselves. You are laying baby on your chest and having a cute cuddly moment with them or with your partner or whomever else is taking care of baby. Those all count as tummy time. It doesn't have to be how many minutes did we have baby on the ground, on their back, screaming and crying because they hate it. Most babies do not like that position. You don't have to worry about it that much. It's not that big of a deal. At the end of the day, it's not a big thing. And if it gives you stress or worry, or you just feel like a jerk for putting your baby on the ground and then watching the clock while your baby screams and cries, just don't do it. Just put baby on your chest, hold baby in a way where they're supporting their head and neck a little bit. They'll lift their head up and look around and everything like that. Totally fine. That's all the tummy time has to be. I know that there's a lot of wrapped up guilt and shame and like doing it right or doing it wrong. Tummy time is not a big deal at the end of the day. So don't stress out over it. And if somebody gives you a hard time because you're not putting in 37 minutes of tummy time in week 3, just don't hang out with that person anymore. You don't want to hang out with them anyways, because I can guarantee you that if they're giving you a hard time about tummy time when they're 3 weeks old, then they'll give you a hard time about a lot of things between now and when they go off to kindergarten. So find some new friends. Comment, give me an emoji in the comments below if that is helpful, if that gives you peace of mind that you're not screwing your baby up right from the start by not doing enough tummy time, because truly I get it. I hear about it all the time about tummy time and at people wanting to know if they're doing it right or doing it wrong, and it just doesn't worry me or bother me that to the extent that other people are bothered by it. So please let that be the reassurance and confidence booster that you need, that you're not doing tummy time wrong. You're not doing it enough or anything like that. Hope that helps. Now the third thing is spitting up. All babies spit up. Parents worry a lot about spitting up, and they worry because they've seen on Facebook or Instagram. I feel like this course lately has become like, here's all the things that you've seen on Facebook and Instagram that are wrong. But that's where we're at, and those are the questions that I spend my days right outside there in my exam rooms answering, and so that's why we're talking about it. Spitting up is normal. All babies spit up. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with your baby if they spit up, and what you'll see is that babies spit quite frequently. I'm talking multiple times per day, and it might be just kind of like the little dribble or the little surprise, like little mouthful or whatever you want to call it. Parents always think it's a lot more than it is. They've done studies that have shown that like you quadruple estimate how much they actually spit up. And by and large, it's entirely normal. If your baby is keeping down most of their feedings, if they're growing appropriately, if they're not overly fussy, then just let them spit, keep cleaning it up, keep changing outfits, all of those things. There's nothing that you need to worry about when it comes to spitting if that is the case. You don't have to change your diet. You don't have to give up your favorite foods. You don't have to try and burp baby excessively. Some babies, especially breastfed babies, just don't burp a lot. And so if your baby isn't burping a lot, you don't have to just like keep burping them or trying to burp them and spend hours trying to burp them in between feeding them. You also don't have to worry that, oh, they spit up, which means I suck because I should have gotten that burp out earlier. It's just normal. Baby spit up. What you'll know, or what to know, is that where the stomach and the esophagus meet, there is a little valve there, and it's quite weak in babies. And so it's very easy for milk to come back up. And sometimes they'll regurgitate milk and you'll just see them doing that move. Sometimes they'll spit it up. Sometimes you won't notice. Sometimes they'll do it in their sleep. All those things are entirely normal and not worrisome. And sometimes babies will have those exorcist style vomits where, wow, that's like the last 4 meals they just ate. How can they do that? That is totally normal too. Sometimes it's because they have a little bit of gas or a bubble or something in their stomach that just makes it all come up. It is memorable. It is not all the time. If every feeding they do an exorcist style spit up, then that's definitely something to talk with your pediatrician about, because that wouldn't be normal. But the occasional exorcist style with a lot of smaller burps is totally normal and totally expected. Nothing to worry about. So please have peace of mind that that is normal and nothing to worry about. You will find that there are some babies where they spit up and they're fussy all day. They spit up and they have blood in their poop. They spit up and have other things going on that then will take more seriously and investigate or make some suggestions on how to change diet or adjust feeding them or something along those lines. But by and large, all the babies that I see that spit up, it's totally normal. It passes with time. You might find that it gets worse in the first 6 months of life. As baby starts to move their legs more and squeeze their stomach and start to yell and scream and all those things, they're putting more pressure on their abdomen, which just puts pressure on that valve, and milk comes back up because there's more abdominal pressure, and the pressure relief valve is stomach contents coming back up. So they might spit up a little bit more. Totally normal. If they're not a fussy baby, if they're happy most of the time, then the spitting up is by and large entirely normal and nothing to worry about or stress about. Certainly bring it up to your doctor. Certainly bring it up at their checkups, or sooner if they're having a lot of exorcist style spit ups, if they're not growing, if they're seeming dehydrated. Those are all serious things that we need to watch for. But by and large, spit up is totally normal. And I would expect most babies go through at least 3 to 4 outfits per day because of spit up. Does that make sense? Hopefully that's helpful and reassuring to you. Comment yes below if that does help, and that you know, okay, I have a renewed expectation of what is normal, because I mentioned to somebody that the baby spits up, and all of a sudden I was getting all these things about milk allergy and changing diet and blah, 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 blah. Take a deep breath. Realize that it's normal, and that your friends on Instagram and Facebook are a little bit hyper about this. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so the action points. Realize that there are some strategies like we talked about to get a little bit more sleep. Realize that tummy time is not something that you have to stress over or feel like you have to watch the clock and write down in your baby diary how much time they're spending on it, or track it on an app or something like that. It's not that big of a deal. And then realize that all babies spit up, and it's not a sign that there's anything wrong with them. We don't have to assign a pathology to everything that baby does that doesn't seem normal. We know that babies spit up and that they continue to grow and thrive, and they stop spitting up eventually, but it can take a while to get there. Hopefully that is helpful. Now in the next video, what we're going to talk about is when to start seeing more visitors and how to do that safely, what to do if baby has a fever or you're worried about the temperature of your baby, and then some of the baby acne skin rashes that are very normal that we see and that parents worry about, or bring up in questions, or bring them in for a separate visit to talk about. Totally normal. We'll talk through all of that in the next video. And I hope this has been helpful. Hey, before you go, if there's somebody else that you think could benefit, could you just take a screenshot or send them a link so that they could do this course too? Because I know there's a lot of parents out there that are struggling and feeling like they don't have a lot of confidence in themselves as parents. And hopefully this has brought you more confidence and peace of mind. And if it has, if you could just share it with somebody, that would be great. Keep up the good work. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, will you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos that I put out? And if you'd like to learn more or watch another video, you can click right over here to keep going. Have a good day. Keep up the good work.